On live. Waiting for YouTube and Instagram to wake up. Looks like YouTube has woken up and now Instagram. All right, everybody. I'm doing a follow-up update for CROM Anthology number 1. Getting closer to the finish line. As a matter of fact, I have already did some post-its that I'll review with everybody for my August checklist. So I'm predicting to get everything completed by the end of August. So that gives us a more solid finish line up to this point. I just want to thank everybody for being with me on this journey because I'm having a great time and I hope you are as well. I also want to thank 5 Crommunity supporters for purchasing mock-ups. Once again, these mock-ups are available. You can get a copy. International shipping is no problem. It's all right around the $7 to $9 anywhere in the world. So just don't be afraid. If you're out in Australia, New Zealand, and if it, whatever the shipping is, if there needs to be a little extra there, I'm covering that. Get these out. Once the official CROM Anthology number 1 is live and in the wild, there will be no longer available copies of the mock-up. So that is something we're offering. And to get 5 people to support me on that level is very humbling. And I can't thank you enough. So I use Lulu. That's how I get these books out. Lulu is a print-on-demand company. Drop ship from them anywhere in the world. They have many location print-wise. One of the mock-ups was purchased in England, and I got an error message from that order. And it's kind of a blessing, but a blessing in making a decision. So this is the newest mock-up copy right now based on this error. We'll call it more of an issue, which is based on ink coverage. So what I'm being told by Lulu is your file contains inks with high ink coverage requirements. Using standard print for content with high ink coverage requirements may result in poor print quality, which is something I actually want. But please select premium print or adjust your file to include low ink coverage. So I did this standard, and this is how this one came out. It's the same thing. The CROM collection for 2024. It's basically a thinner paper. I then have a 30% opacity piece of newsprint that's behind the art, that the art then through Photoshop is multiplied, so you get that coming through. So it has this old magazine feel to it, which I love. But I was not able to print that in England, so I had to go up to a premium. Now, that was also an increase in pricing. Not a lot, but, that does make difference in pricing. So I do admit being frustrated with this at first, but I try to take all of these issues, all of these issues without a positive or negative charge. And use them to figure out how to best and most appropriately get this out. So ordered a copy of the premium, and you'll notice quite a difference. And I have to say I'm liking it. So even standard or premium, I'm using a cream color paper. So I don't want stark white. So the cream color paper is really nice. It's bright, but it's still giving me this, newsprinty kind of feel. Now, the paper itself is slick and not really something I'm down. But, man, let's just use this page as an example. Is there a difference just in, I would say, like readability, like the, yeah, here we go. So this is standard. This is premium. Obviously, there's more yellow. The cream is coming through, which I like, I have to say. I'm not looking at this as a negative. And most definitely, I'm going to be moving forward in the premium, which the pricing is going to be probably the issue over everything moving forward. So kind of interesting. I think what it is, I'm going to do a test. I'm going to try to reduce upload version where there's a reduction in the 30%, maybe down to like 15%, and maybe that'll help kind of play with me, because I still do like the paper quality. The shiny stuff, slick stuff is not my favorite. I love the tactileness of a newsprint feel, which I would then stay with the standard. It'll probably even bring some of the cream in there. So decisions still have to be made about that. But right now, I am sending them out at premium mock-ups. So if you end up purchasing, you will get a copy as a premium. And if you get it and you think this is awesome because you got a copy of CROM Collected, and you're like, hey, man, you know, this might be something you want to upgrade to. I think the size, the thickness is probably also another thing. They said in an email, because they have great technical support, by the way, Lulu. They get back to you in about 24 hours, no matter what the day is, Saturday, Sunday, all that kind of stuff. And so one of the bounce backs was the printer in England had newer printing systems, and so was worried of damage of not only the book printing wise, but his computer for that amount of pages. So I'm kind of thinking, you know, if this was 140, not 228, it might have slipped through. So I still have things to figure out, and you know, part of the process, and I'm very happy to participate. So this episode, I'm going to be giving a rundown on a checklist, basically what I have left over in the way of getting things completed. Some of them is just, you know, kind of quote unquote boring stuff. For instance, you know, assignment of the copyright holders for each of the stories and everything in there, QR code, ISBN number assignment. You know, these types of things are, you know, hours, not days worth of work. So, you know, but it's still on the checklist. Been drafting my explanations and experimentations, which is going to be 4 pages. A lot of talking about the contributors and the collaborators that I'm working with on here, and the sort of awesome charge I'm getting out of it, and the things I'm finding, and then also the things that I want to do come CROM Anthology number 2 and CROM Anthology number 3, and so on. So the thing is, you know, I'm just looking at the you know, the physical writing of it. I have a lot of notes and everything in it. It should be like, this is actually going to be not the table of contents. It'll be table of credits. So this is going to help people as sort of like a log, less than trying to, because I don't want a page number. I don't want a page number in here. No. So this would be something you could go back and say, oh, the John Atkinson Richardson stuff, that was, oh, okay. And that came from this. Oh, all right. So you have a little bit better idea, but it's not intruding on the pages themselves and stuff. So how to contact, comment, YouTube, Sardonicus. Yes. He's the one in England. He's getting a premium copy. You're getting a premium copy, my friend. So it is on your, I did send you an update email because they updated me on apologizing for its delay in printing. So them being behind, but all's good. You're going to have it hopefully sooner than later. Cheers. And we got a comment from Dexter Jones. Dexter, how you doing today? It's all about the best affordable printing. Yeah, it is about the best affordable printing. The print on demand model, just to jump back to that, one of the reasons I use it, the number one reason I use it is for the international shipping. As I also have more and more books, you can pile those books together and the shipping is not going to get drastically shifted. Like I said, I think Australia right now is $9.50. New Zealand, I think I keep that price there. I think there's maybe another buck thrown down there and there, but I'll eat that for anybody that's out in New Zealand. Basically because Drawn Sword's out there, and I want to keep anybody out there in New Zealand who's a fan and a friend of Drawn Sword to get a copy. So we make that all happen. But the printing quality, maybe not as a higher standard. I don't know. I've had many things printed by many people, company wise, and I don't really have a standard per se. So, and the old Savage Sword of Conan magazines is the feeling I'm constantly trying to get back to, the distress look, and then of course the tones and textures I use on it and stuff. But I also have to say the premium quality to this book is also looking good. So I just got to make some decisions and try some things out to make and before I make the final decision and everything like that. So nothing here I have to do. This AricCon is a part of collaboration with the Adam Lemna, who is the creator of one of my favorite sword and sorcery indie comics right now, which is Relic Hunter. Number 2 is completed, and it's going to be coming out in the wild real soon and stuff, but we're collaborating on this. So there'll be something here, basically getting people to pointing to through a QR code to cromthebarbarian.com to find out what's going on, how things are coming along. Hand lettering. I have all the placeholders here for Ken Landgraf and I's CROM and Juvanis. Of course, I just wrote the thing and we'll hand letter it and add my final touch to it. But this is all drawn in ink by Ken Landgraf. And we'll be seeing more of these pages from Ken, because this is going to be an ongoing series, either 4 or 6, maybe 5, I don't know, somewhere along there. Depends on the success of selling CROM Anthology without Kickstarter. And of course, if you were a part of my CROM Collected, I did this, sold 73 copies in a month. I think I ran the campaign. I'm going to run the campaign for 2 weeks for the CROM Anthology. $20 package, $13 plus $7 in shipping. So that was a huge success. And as soon as you order the book is sent. It's none of this waiting, done, give me money and I'll make the book. It's none of that. It's done and you get it once you buy it. So no Kickstarter for me. So based on the success is going to help support how many pages I can get from the man himself, outlaw comic extraordinaire, Ken Landgraf. This one I was looking at, this is a scratch board of a pen app from Jim Gullett, who, by the way, where is it? Oh, right behind me, has a new CROM collection. I have bought copies and I will be posting them right after this episode on cromthebarbarian.com for purchase. If you don't know already, I love Jim's style or presentation of CROM. I just think he's the closest in my head of how CROM would appear and sort of move and stuff. So really super excited about this. Got a double page spread as well for the CROM Anthology that just got to me a couple weeks ago from Jim. So really exciting stuff. We'll be sharing more about that. Nothing needed for Adam Bennett's story, though he has 7 more pages already sent in. So he's already good for CROM Anthology number 2. But if you've watched the CROM update with Adam, there's a conversation trying to stay open because he has a lot of old CROM stuff. So we'll see if we can get a collection together with him and then offer that as a separate purchase. So there'd be less waiting and more Adam T. Bennett CROM material out there. I am already working on these tone and textures. Things are going very well. There's 8 pages for CROM Daring. So that's underway. These are sound effects suggestions I got. And when I'm working on these pages on John Molina, his CROM and the Serpent's Lair, I actually have, just a second here, let me lean back here. I have page 1 inked. Now this is really fun because of 2 things. One thing is John's in a Amara manga style, which was on my wish list for CROM Anthology, and without me suggesting it or overtly suggesting it, John gave us that. So super excited to work with him, being the inker on here. The second thing is I wanted an inking project. This is the Zipatone dots that were printed on the page and then I inked. So this is not cut. I made this Zipatone in Photoshop, laid it over, cut it out just like you would buying it, then printed it with the 10% low opacity for all the elements in the text, and then inked. So super gratified and excited about how this came out. It's going to be some tweakings and such. 9 pages of this I have to do. So this is on the checklist, which is CROM the Barbarian in the Serpent's Lair. Like I said, also have some suggestions for sound effects. So, and yep. Excuse me, 10 pages. I have a 10th. That's right. John had submitted a 10th page. So, and it's really good because it has a dynamic to be continued, leaving there. Coloring the tone and texture, have that going. You can see here, I got a lot of ideas I want to apply to this. Thanks, Dexter. Dexter jumped over from Instagram onto YouTube. Thank you so much for the support. Futuro Comics, so cool. Thank you on Instagram. This is another one of those challenges that I set up for myself. This will be printed in black and white for the anthology, but I have 6 of these short CROM Junior stories, and those will be collected at some point and put out as full color. And of course, I'll have other material in there and such to add. So that's good. And now nothing needed to be done with Drawn Sword and Ron Parsons' CROM Courageous. I mean, just look at these pages. Now, this is a perfect example of why I'm doing CROM Anthology, or the Barbarian project. I love sword and sorcery. I just love drawing it. I love reading it. I love watching it. I love looking at it. It just soothes me. And having a collection, as this will be, and as they come out, when there's those times like I used to get anxious, and I still get anxious, but back in the days of just getting stressed out, right, about work and life and everything like that. It's always that weekend and that time and hiding away in the studio or bedroom with a box full of Savage Sword of Conan comics. It's going to be CROM Anthology, or anthologies, as I said, because these are just so encouraging, so it just gives me like inspiration. Motivation, I think, is even more a greater word to apply, especially with somebody like Drawn Sword, who has this very, I want to say meticulous, yet the way it falls on the page just feels effortless. And so I kind of apply that same strategy to my own self. So it's just a great reminder, and it's just refreshing to be able to walk through these stories. And I can't wait till I have hundreds of pages and comics of John Sword's material, as most people here, contributing. What do I have here? I had mentioned last time I wanted to soften up the female. I thought she just has too much of a harshness to her, so we got to play around with this. Like this is like, a couple hours or something. These types of things. Jason Schoonover, written and penciled, collaboration. Me doing the inks. I have the tone and texture. Show off. Things are rolling along very nicely. I'm really loving this. Got to get darkers in there. You can kind of see. I'm even actually gonna screen this off, and I'm gonna hit it with like black spray paint to really kind of create a fuzziness in there, just to also preserve the. It's gonna be very challenging, but it's gonna be worth it. But yeah, these pages are coming along, 7 of them, and they're all in this level. I just need to give it that final tone and texture touch. So that's Cromdahar with Jason Schoonover. Oh man, I got this morning. I couldn't wait any longer. Steven Sonneveld, a great contributor, donated 12 CROM scripts. They run 9 to 19 pages. They're free. You can download them on cromthebarbarian.com. Use them as a jumping platform. In other words, you can just read it and be like, oh no, I want him to do this, and I want her to look like this, and I want him to have blah 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 blah. Well, he did a 1-pager somewhere around here. And I just had this feeling like I was like, you know what? And I asked Steven if I could do a 2-pager version where I would ink and letter it. And I got that started this morning. So here is a little teaser. Wanted to give it that crumb feeling. I have a copy of My Trouble with Women, which I'm using as a reference because I really love the way he was inking 2 of the stories in there. My Trouble with Women, to be specific. There was another one I can't remember, but the way he was hatching and really going about it. So, using that as a spirited reference point and stuff. So coming along nicely. And there's only 2 pages, so it'll get done. Nothing needed. Exactly. And it's funny too. It is funny. Crumb the Barbarian. It has a good satirical humor that Steven has. So I'm really excited to share it. You got to liven things up. It was like the Crom Junior cartoon kind of style and everything. It can't be all brooding and dark. Got to liven things up to keep everybody moving along. Dean Kotz. This is a Lord Dunsany. Nothing to be done. Keeping it as is. Nothing to be done with Dexter Jones's Crom, the God Crom, who also, by the way, Dexter, give you a shout out and a thank you. A great gratitude of thanks for purchasing one of the mock-up copies. So I have a feeling that you really want to see what your screens look like in person. You can't wait any longer. So, but I know you're also a huge contributor to the community and supporter. And once again, have to thank you. Now, Dexter also is going to have a floppy. He has the story completed. I know there's some other things he's been working on to create like additional material to the floppy of the God Crom, but it will be available. And so you'll be able to QR code, boop, zap it, or even have copies on Crom the Barbarian at the same time so you can bundle and save on shipping. We're going to work that out. So just need to put that material together with Dexter to put that for. Nothing needed for this fun Crom the Barbarian movie, Conan the Barbarian movie review from Japan, 1982. I have like 4 of these, so I'll be throwing them in, the next 2 or 3 CROM Anthology. I just love This is my favorite movie in the whole world. I watch it every year on my birthday. My birthday's coming in like 9 days. So I'll have a couple glasses of wine, some popcorn, and sit down and watch Arnold deliver his. Oh, it's brilliant. Just gives me a charge every time. I got to write an article and give more depth. Probably even going to do a little portrait drawing of John, which I'll be sharing more and more information with him about him throughout. And this John Atkins Richardson through the CROM Anthologies. So just giving you blow-ups of zine pages from his Maxor series, which I am one fanzine away. I'm hoping to secure to be able to get the whole collection together to rescan and put into a standalone collection. So that's in the works. Tone and texture for Lala and the Time Machine. Let me jump back here. And where are you, Lala? Lala. Oh, here you are, Lala. Lala. So this is my tone and texture, and super excited to work on this. I have scan here because when I get to the 80%, and then this being the 90%, which is the one pass with the liquid mask and the graphite wash, I like to have a scanned archive of that, inspired by Gardner Fox, Bob Powell. So these pages are in movement. No worries there. Nothing needed for Chesney, Lindsay Chesney. This is also a standalone I'm putting together. Lillian Chesney and her Arabian Nights. It's right over here. Which is in full color. This is a 1943 comic book. Here it is. This is actually the comic. All busted up. Bought this years ago and have always wanted to do a high-res scan, clean up, and thing. Because she is just, these pages are so inspirational, motivational. They're wonderful to look at. I mean, and then her touch on 4 or 5 of the stories from the Arabian Nights is just really well constructed. She only did 2 comics. The other one's Gulliver's Travels, which I just bought a copy of. So I might somewhere down the road also put that up and scan. But man, just good times. Love the just approach, the sequence, the design is really, I envy the page designs. I just wish I had this openness, but I can strive for it. So having something like this nearby is, I love this. And this page, damage-wise, had a crease in it, so kind of interesting. Looks like a shaft of light, but anyhow, this is going to be available as an add-on when you're purchasing the CROM Anthology. So. Let me check, see how everybody's doing. Yeah. So Donicus, I have that same script. I've been wanting to do something with it. Just some fun stuff. Yeah. The leaping away from Oliver Stone's original Conan the Barbarian script, which I also have. No, there was no budget or special effects that was going to be able to support that cocaine fever-induced story, but we could only dream, right? So, but yeah, that's some great stuff. Yep. So this would be the floppy QR code, but you'll see everything on there. Not needed. This is Ralph Cornford, Ralph Cornford. His contribution, which he does, it's called Thrilling Fantasy Suspense Magazine. He's out at like issue 5, but I just asked him to contribute, 7 pages just to give us a feeling of what he's doing. He's doing something very similar to my CROM Collected 2024, where he's doing illustrated prose and comics, and they're all pulp fantasy based. And when I get him on for his update, we have a lot to talk about. But one of those things is he has some new theories about where fantasy and sword and sorcery, or fantasy and science fiction, sci-fi, kind of cross line. I don't know. It's going to be great. It's always a great time talking to him. So going from there. The Rogan of the North, I need to do the redraw of the cover and then do this flat coloring thing here, because as you know, or don't, I was given permission by David Lanciani. He did this in 1985. There's PDFs that I was able to get a hold of. He doesn't have the original pages to scan, so I just took my own efforts with what he would have had as a fine liner and a Sharpie back in 1985, and just redid them at 8.5 by 11. So, and I'm going to be doing that for all the stories going there. But I just think, as crude draftsmanship, the storytelling is amazing. It's very inspiring. It's almost too at times. I think, well, why don't I just use this as a leaping point and then do my distressed look tone and texturing, which could happen. Who knows? So, you have to kind of keep things in check. So, but Rogan of the North, just need to work on that cover. Nothing for Siegfried and the Dragon. It's just public domain. This is coming out amazingly. The story's been written. The text has been laid out. The effects that I want to also put to it is in my head, so I have to create that plate. But just so you know, I'm going to be making, hand lettering plates, superimposing them on there. And I'm also going to do some, I call it special effects. So do some outlining here and some smoke. And then there's a lot of chanting of incantations, and runes are kind of a strategy I want to try to incorporate as like a language and design that I want kind of floating around. So I'm going to create another plate, and then some more mist to kind of create another layer in some of these panels. So this is coming together swimmingly, as they say. Great news. Chroniclarn, all spot illustrations have been laid out. In other words, I have what it is that I want to do, but I need to make another pass, which I'm going to take a day next week and do. And then all I have to do is just start hammering them out. And the classic spot illustration, just what it was I used my brush pen, a black brush pen. These are like 7 by 7 inches, so they get reduced to about 3.5 inches here, and then scuff them up with graphite stick or black color pencil, just to give another dimension to them. So I did some smudging and then erasing there, but same thing. And these I got accomplished 3 days it took to do, and this is more pages. I think this is 30. No, it's the same amount of pages. 30. Yeah. Nope, it's more. 32. Whoa, that's 36. Wow, 36. This is only 30. So there's only 30 pages. So, yeah. I know it sounds like a lot, but there's a method to my madness. So. Yeah. The 5-pager from Pat Boyett, don't need anything. The Visitor, great story. And then I'm going to be doing an update, because I've learned so much about the collaboration and contribution methodology that's kind of happened. The way things have rolled in communication with so many people that have given, I can give not only specificity in how it applies to whether you want to just contribute something and see it in print, or you want to actually collaborate with not only myself, with somebody like, I don't know, Ram Parsons, but we have a lot of writers, Steven Sonnefeld. We have another writer named Ali. I just have been in contact with, who has a second story. We're working on 10 short stories that will also get illustrated. So there's many people here to be in community with the Crommunity. So this is all going to be here, and it's even going to explain the legal and compensation as well. There's not a lot of money in this at all. Right now, anybody that's contributing or collaborating are getting issues and then a reduced price on the issues in order to have those in their grasp in order to sell at comic book shows. Really quickly, if you don't know, Jason Schoonover, he was there he is. So Jason was one of the first people, actually the last person out of the 5 that I reached out to. So he did one of the 5 cover illustrations, pinups. He ordered 10 extra copies, sold them all out, and he got him. You get him at cost. So he has already sold, and he's already restocked at 10 more issues. So when he's out at shows and everything, he has copies of his cover. They're not my covers. I can't sell his cover. It's not why I wanted to put that together. All 5 of these individuals, as part of the compensation, was to have the ability to have covers of their own and interior, people finding them and everything. And then, share the word, spread the word of CROM. As a public domain character, which I do not own or try to possess in any way, want to use him as a platform to share ideas and get things going and stuff. So I just got to put a huge shout out to somebody who's out there as an indie comic creator that gets it. And I love working with him. So I'm looking forward to getting this completed and getting other things done with him in collaboration. And then the big last part is getting pinup art from a lot of people. People from the anthology. I have pinups coming in already, some great stuff from people who've collaborated with me, like Jason, if he wants to have a new if you wanted to do a new one, it'd be fine. If not, we can just keep it, in there. I think this is awesome. Would love to just keep it as a reprint. But this is I'm hoping to get about 13 or so double pages in here. So just got to get those people the state or place in the world that they're at, a little blurb about them, and then a link to the QR code. Place to buy and find out more about them. And then, I already did that. I talked about that. So there. Just a little, this is going to be a QR code here as well to get you to CROM the Barbarian and the free comic book scripts. There's 3 by me, 12 by Steven Sonnefeld, who was very gracious to donate these. And they're leap-off points. And clarity for leap-off points is you read it, you're inspired, motivated, but you want to make edits. Don't need anybody's permission. It's been granted ahead of time. Get going. Start making some CROM comics. Little shout out to the Garner Francis Fox Library. The man who started it all, if you will, the creator of CROM the Barbarian, Kothar the Barbarian Swordsman, Kyric, Warlock Warrior, and now the Far Travels. So they're all available there. But you also wanted to see my cover in a larger format than 6x9. I love it. And this is full color too, by the way. So this is why I'm making things in full color, to also see how they translate in black and white, which I think is very delicious. Go from there. Ads, these I need to get some updates from my partner Jake Jacobs, and then waiting on Adam Dodds's inks, which are in the slinging, going on from there. Whew. Whew, all right. Well, that is the checklist I have, and I'm super excited about how things are moving along. If I hit the end of I'll have so much done by the end of August that September is in. What I will need is prepping time in order to launch the project. So in my brain, if everything plays well, timing wise, there could be a late September, early October release of this. That's what I would hope for. Shooting for is not going to happen in reality until I'm towards the end of August. But as I keep you guys updated, that is obviously on the list, is when is this going to be on the wild and when can I get my copy? And all the other great things that'll come through. So with that, I don't want to take any more people's time. I can't thank you enough if you've been with me. If you're not already a part of the Crommunity on cromthebarbarian.com, get on over there. Get over to cromthebarbarian.com. A lot's going on over there. A lot more is going to be happening. I just seem to make more and more lists of things because I can't do anything now other than complete this, but the types of things that I can see coming in the future. And also, the community is there for you. If you're actively participating and you have something that you want to contribute, reach out to me. Kurt at cromthebarbarian.com. That's the email. And let's talk. That's how it all starts. Let's just talk. Let's see if it can be done, should it be done, or how it can be done, and get it done. But other than that, guys, thank you so very much. Mock-up copies are available right now. At this point, they might not be for 2 months from now. So, if you could pick one up, that'd be great for support as we're moving along here. But if you're holding out for the real deal, totally understand. But that's what I have. So thank you very much. I'll check the comments real quickly. Ooh, boy, we got some. Hey, Just Jamie. That's what I'm talking about. The Chrome units. Brutal Blade of Crom number 2 and 3. 2 is going to be coming out August mid-time. I'm going to have a lot of support in getting copies of Crom. Brutal Blade of Crom, 2 people through cromthebarbarian.com. Yep, number 3 in the fall. So Jamie Barrows is the project lead for another CROM anthology. Who would have thought? Called Brutal Blade of CROM, which is so much needed from the last one. The wait is going to be so worth it. And I just have to say, the jealousy, I've seen pages teasing me, the jealousy of what's coming from these guys over at Brutal Blade is going to be amazing to sit down with CROM Anthology and some Brutal Blades of CROM and some Jim Gullett. I got so much other stuff coming. Oh, and then we got Relic Hunter from Out of London. There's going to be so much going on. And it will always be going on. And I'm here to support. So reach out. And if you're out there doing something, don't feel alone. Let's make something happen. Let's get things done. So, and have a good time. My saying here is this is a low to no stress project. I'm not trying to get myself stressed out, but I'm also not trying to stress others out. So, that's what it's all about. So yeah, big anthologies, floppies, magazine format, covering all the bases. Need a CROM manga now. That's from Jamie. Yeah, I hear you. I have seen something in, I think, France. Somebody's doing something. I'm going to actually try to get a copy of this and do a little thing. But the artist is actually calling themselves CROM. So this is pretty cool. Things are going on out there, and it's all coming together. But other than that, I just have to say thank you, and look forward to my next update, which will probably be in about 3 weeks. So we'll see you then. Take care.